on your way from Mondays to Saturdays from the hour of 2 p.m. up to the hour of 3 p.m. The duration of the show is only 1 hour. That means we start from 2 p.m. up to 3 p.m. as I said. And a lot of stories continue to come locally, nationally, continentally, and internationally. And within the country, remember the biggest of it is of course our country. The teams participate in games, and of course Uganda Cranes, they have in a very big game. They are away from home and an international friendly up against Mali. We'll be talking about that one. And also our Queens, Crested Queens, of course they also have in the reverse fixture the game they played against Mozambique. Actually the reverse fixture is also today. We will also be giving vivid analysis about that game. Remember, the first league had already ended by 6-0 in favor of our Queens. Remember, the tournament is all about under-20 Women World Cup qualifiers. They are tossing it out with the team that's Mozambique. And the biggest story actually coming continentally is all about the release of the group stages draws of the 2023 AFCON. We'll also be discussing the fate of some of the teams, the fate of Tanzania. They have been pitted in a dangerous group alongside some of the African giants. We'll also be talking about that one. Still nationally, bringing it national, we'll also be talking about match day 4, roundup of match day 4 of the Star Times FUFA Big League. Apart from Onduparaka Football Club, most of the teams, in fact all the teams in the FUFA Big League, of course, they played their games yesterday, starting on Wednesday, where we had one game on the card, and yesterday we also had several games on the card in FUFA Big League. We'll also be doing discussion about those games, and also internationally, a lot of breaking stories continues to come on your way. The biggest of it is all about European Champions qualifiers 2024 still continuing. Yesterday we had games on the card. We'll be talking about them, giving you all the results, and we'll also be picking some of the games and we talk about them. And games will also continue today. Today we're having so many games to be played. And also Christopher Galtier has already got a new team, this time not in French League 1 as it used to be. He has crossed over to that Al Dual, that side of Asian continent, to play rather to guide a team called Al Dual. And the team actually plays in Qatar Star League. And not only that one, Rooney actually is confident that he can guide Birmingham back to that English Premier League. We'll also be talking about that one, whether he can be in position to make it. We will be talking about that one. And the same thing also applies to Darcy George Valder, who has officially been appointed as the head coach of Morocco women's ladies team. We will be talking about those ones, not forgetting about the transfer rumors that continues to make headlines each and every day. The biggest of it is all about Manchester City midfielder Calvin Phillips, who has been eyed by the team of Bavarian Giants. I am talking about the champions, defending champions in German Bundesliga, that's Bayern Munich. As I said, I am not alone in front of the camera. I am together with Susie Linda. Let me first ask her into the show. Susie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benson, and good afternoon, viewer. You're most welcome. Whistle time 2 to 3 p.m. It is a weekend edition of There Is a Whistle Time. It is a Friday, and we are excited to reach a Friday. Yeah, basically that, I should say.
Let's kickstart our discussion with what is happening within the country. We talk about the second tier of Ugandan football. I am actually talking about FUFA Big League. As I said, when actually I was giving the highlights of the discussion, the match day 4 started on Wednesday, where we had one game on the card. It was between Boma FC and the team Deja University. And then yesterday was Thursday, the 12th of this particular month, the month of October, and the year still remains 2023. And we also had so many games played, around 6 fixtures we have played. The producer can actually help us to put the results on the screen such that we can give you how things transpired, and we also give you some of the analysis of the other games. Let's kickstart with the game between Calvary and Karo Karunzi. Calvary actually, they were away from home. They were away to Karo Karunzi, and in the game actually they were beaten by a certain Karo Karunzi by 2-1. In that particular game, Calvary of course ended the 90 minutes plus the added extra minutes with a red card on their side. But the biggest part of it is all about losing games back to back. The first 2 games they actually played in the new season of the FUFA Big League, they managed to win them. The first first one, of course, it was against the certain Tigezi Homeboys, which they managed to win. The second game actually was against Young Elephant. They picked a narrow win against, but the last two games they have played on Sunday, actually they lost into the hands of the team Lugazi by a goal to nil. Then recently, yesterday, of course, being beaten by the side, that's Karo Karunzi, by 2-1. They actually started the season on top of the log with 6 points by then, but now they are dropping at a terrible speed. So, Susie, what is wrong with Calvary? Does it mean the first two teams they actually played, we are weaker teams compared to the teams they have lost the last two games into two? You talk about Lugazi and the Karo Karunzi. What could be the problem with the team Calvary?
Now, I'm talking about Calvary. Recently, I expected them to pick a win when they played home, but then that was when they actually lost that very game. Losing games home is one big thing that really the teams within a big league should not joke around with.
Yes.
Because picking a win away is going to be one of the hardest things ever in this current season over there is a big league. And I should say one thing that Calvary, I think, is not getting right is looking at most of the teams that are there set to play as underdogs, because they feel that maybe probably these teams are underdogs, and that because this is the third season into that is the league, they feel definitely they know the corners of the league, and they know what it takes to be in the league, but then they're getting the whole thing wrong. Especially I see them underlooking at most of the teams that actually are coming through that have just newly joined. There is the big league season, this very season 2023-2024, but then they are being beaten mercilessly. So it's quite a very bad one, and yesterday's results from Wednesday to yesterday's results, I think, have taken Calvary to position number 7. I was looking at that. They are now in line with there is Onduparaka, who sits at position number 6, if I am not mistaken, with the same points, of course, but then somehow I think the goal difference matters. This is not quite a very good one for there is Calvary. And then talking about Ndeje, Ndeje also is losing out outrageously. If you check at Ndeje, and if you check at the bottom of the table, you'll actually get to see that it is Ndeje that sits down there together with the Young Elephants. They equally don't have any points. Simply because Ndeje, their game with Boma, by the way, that game was played for 2 days, and the game was slated for Wednesday at Reno Visions, that is at the home of Ndeje. Due to heavy rain, downpour of rain, first half only closed, I think, on a 1-0 in favor of Boma. And then rain could not allow the rest of them to continue. So they cut off the game, and then they continued yesterday to second half, which actually ended like the previous day. That game ended 1-0 there in favor of Boma, picking a win also again home as a visiting side in the home of there is Ndeje. So basically, I should say teams should not joke around with playing games at home, because that's the only chance I see them having, picking 3 points, because look at the rest of the teams. Trust me, if really you're going to be picking wins when you travel to most of these teams, but then I see they've broken in the records of Calvary. They lost home the other day. Ndeje also lost yesterday at home. So it's quite alarming.
For Ndeje, they have not picked any point, not even a draw. They have lost all the games ever since the kickstart of the new season of FUFA Big League. But for Calvary, they need to pick up, because I did say, I remember 2 days ago, the teams actual Calvary played at the start of the new season. We are newly promoted side. Young Elephant, not forgetting about the team that's Tigezi Homeboys. It was very easy for them to pick the wins against them. And the wins they picked against these two newly promoted sides, to me, they were not convincing wins. They were actually edging results. Coming up against Lugazi, 1 point actually you came up with is all about you should not underrate any team. Make sure that you are very, very tactical whenever you are heading to approach a certain team. You should also be going for that particular game with a unique tactics. The way you approach Lugazi should not be the way how you approach Tigezi Homeboys. The way you are going to battle it away with the team that's a Karo Karunzi should not be the same way how you battle it with the team that's a Young Elephants. To me, they need to pick up, because starting the season on top of the log, now you are coming down is not a good one, because I remember in the press conference they said they are very ambitious of making it to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, having already spent this is their third consecutive season in FIFA Big League. So they had that ambition to see that they actually have to climb the tree. So we are waiting and we are watching the space closely. And Calvary saw 4 games already played, 2 wins and 2 defeats. They sit somewhere 7th on the log. So the upcoming fixtures ahead of the team, that's Calvary, we hope they will do better in them. Still, we had games, not only the game between Ndejje University up against Boma, which was played, as you said, for 2 days. Not only the game between Calvary and the team, that's Karo Karunzi. Kataka, the team people have always been underrating so much, is also doing well. They have played 4 games, picking only 1 defeat, winning 2 and drawing 1. So yesterday they also won their game. That's Kataka for you, beating another newly promoted side, that's Tiyinda Boys, by 1-0. Does it mean people have been having a wrong perception about the team, that's Kataka, given the fact that they're actually doing well?
Kataka plays good football. If only they can eliminate the hooliganism bit of it away from them. If they can only cut off hooliganism off their body, it will be quite a very good one for Kataka. Because now, they have pushed away FIFA from covering all their games. Recently, in the fight they had with the very Zambale Heroes when they played home. So they have been known for hooliganism acts. It's not the first time they're doing that and all that. So that actually pushes away. It pushes away a followership. Trust me. If you're always fighting here and there, no one really wants to associate with you. But when it comes to the pitch, when it comes to game of play, you'll actually bear witness with me, Benson, that these guys play actually good football. And these guys are good to go. They have all the experience. They have been in the league for quite some time now. At one moment, I think they even crossed over to play. There is a StarTimes Uganda Premier League, but then they were relegated and pushed down to they were pushed down to the big league where they are currently. But they have proven players. All their coaches are good, and they have the finances. So Kataka is not Kataka shouldn't be an underrated team. They're really a very good side to go, apart from the fans are hooliganism. But then the way I saw them play last time at Greenlight Stadium up against the Duparaka, I didn't see the fans. It was instead the players who wanted to fight. So there was one incident that where a player almost hit a referee of the game. During that time they played with the Arizona Duparaka Football Club down at Greenlight. So I think basically Kataka, no doubt, they have proven players. They play good football. They only need to eliminate off the hooliganism bit of it. It takes people nowhere. Indiscipline actually kills one's career. Exactly, it actually ended very well for the teams that are based in Mbale City. As on the other side, still yesterday we saw the team Mbale Heroes drawing their game after playing a 1-all tie, sharing the points, sharing the spoils with the team that's Jinza North United. That is the result between Mbale Heroes and the team that's Jinza North United. And as we have just been discussing, Kataka of course picked in that win. And the other game is of course Blacks Power keeps on piling press on the teams that are leading the log. The likes of Police, Lugazi, Onduparaka is in the mix as they won their game, a convincing win up against the team that's Young Elephant. As well, they also keep on piling the pressure on the team that's Young Elephant, because if we take a look at the table standing, Young Elephant, they're also down in the relegation zone together with the teams like Tiyinda Boys, not forgetting about the team Ndejje University. Briefly, we need to give people the table standing. Police still leading the table standing out of 4 games played. They have 10 points and they are still unbeaten with only a draw. Second is Lugazi with 7 points. The team that sits third is Blacks Power with the same number of points with Lugazi. It's only the goal difference that separates the two. Fourth on the log is Karo Karunzi with 7. Fifth is Kataka with 5 points. Onduparaka sits at number 6 with 6 points. At number 7 is Calvary. Onduparaka, they have played fewer number of games than the rest of the teams. They have played only 3 games. And they are at number 6 with also 6 points. The team which is at number 7 is Calvary. They have 6 points. 8 is Mbale Heroes with 6. 9th is Chetuma with 6. 10th is Boma with 5. 11th is Tigezi Homeboys with 4. Down in the relegation zone in the red carpet, we have got Jinza North United, Tiyinda Boys, Ndejje University, and lastly Young Elephant. That means Ndejje University and the Young Elephant, of course, they are still looking for a single point ever since the kickstart of the new season of
FUFA Big League. Susie, one game I need us to talk about is actually the game between Blacks Power up against Young Elephant, a newly promoted side actually being thrust, demolished by the team that's a Blacks Power. Does it mean there is a high chance they may go back to the relegation zone, though they may go back to that regional league, though people continue to say that the season has just kick-started, but I always love saying that the journey has already started. For some of the teams that have started doing it well, they have that hope, that ambition of making it to start in Uganda Premier League. But if you have started it in the red carpet, like for some of the teams I've just mentioned, we never know. It may also end for you like how it has started. Does it mean Blacks Power? I remember 2 days ago we talked about them. They are also having a chance of making it back to where they are supposed to be. And Young Elephant, are we seeing them coming back?
I remember we talked about the two sides as we actually did predictions ahead of the game they were supposed to play yesterday. And I remember you were ruling, but you gave it out, I think, to Young Elephants. And I said that Blacks Power has already been in the team. And actually, they experienced. Young Elephants has just come. And we saw the scenario how Young Elephants actually qualified. If Kochi did not walk out of the pitch during that time around, trust me, I was going to see Kochi, by the way, proceeding into there is a big league, because Kochi walked out of the pitch in the 64th minute. And Kochi only needed one goal to qualify, to beat down there is Young Elephants to qualify to big league. Remember when Young Elephants came to Yumbe to play there is Kochi, that game ended on a 1-0. So meaning if Kochi had scored in the home of Young Elephants, they were going to take it upon the away goal rule. Meaning Young Elephants didn't score here in Yumbe, but then the Kochi Urban guys scored the other side. So whoever advised Kochi Urban players to move off the pitch during that time around, I think actually did the worst thing ever. So I think Young Elephant still has a very long way to go, coupled with their coach. I remember I said this 2 days ago when we sat in here doing the predictions and analysis into that game. Their coach, I think, is not yet so much experienced. There is Okot Ola. He has played, yes, but coaching and playing, these are two different things. You'll bear witness with these are two different things. So basically, Young Elephant still has a very long way to go. They will still have to play their game well. They still have to go back to the drawing board to actually understand big league, to actually understand how it means to beat teams, to pick wins and all that. But then they are sitting down there with there is Ndeje. Ndeje has been in the game. I think there is a twist with Ndeje, something that we're not understanding. Basically that. But Young Elephants, they have a very long way to go.
And that each and every time they into the league, they have always been fighting for relegation. But the good thing is they have always been surviving. But this season, we are waiting to see if they will survive the relegation like how they did it last season. We are leaving that one, but we are still within the country. We are getting to another corner of the country as we are having a very big game between our Crested Queens. Our Crested Queens, of course, the under 20 women, they are going to tussle it out with Mozambique. I remember we have actually been singing this one almost every day, but the day for the reverse fixture is today. This afternoon, of course, we will be seeing our Crested Queens, that's under 20 ladies team of Uganda, tussling it out with Mozambique. The first league, of course, was played away from home at Mozambique. It ended by 6-0. It was a convincing win, total thrashing, total demolition, which ended in favor of our Queens. This time, they are at home. That means the team that is advancing in aggregate, of course, will meet Senegal, because Senegal, there is a high chance, of course, they may eliminate Benin. After that, in case Mozambique eliminates Uganda, and crosses over to meet maybe Senegal, or else in case Uganda, that is having 90% already, crosses over to meet Senegal, the winner between Senegal and let me say Uganda will now qualify direct to that under 20 women World Cup and will go direct to the group stages. Uganda, to me, I think it's already done and dusted deal. I don't know if I am right or wrong, because 6 goals up, I don't think Mozambique, of course, will end up eliminating our side.
I think it's quite a very good one. That is for Team Uganda that actually took it upon to surprise Ugandans. One key question I should ask you is, did you expect that that goal difference? Did you expect that win by the time they played the first leg?
No, I did not expect, but in ladies football, in ladies kind of play, anything can happen. But I never, for the fact
it was a shocker, by the way.
It was a shocking
big
result.
Shock because the biggest result we've had with the ladies is a 4-0 something, a 4-1. It has been 4. They've never crossed to 6. So I think this time around it was a big shocker. To me, I saw them winning, but I didn't see them winning on that very wide goal margin.
Exactly.
It was really a big shock. So, like you said, I really have to agree with you that Uganda up against Mozambique today at FUFA Technical Center Njeru is a done and dusted deal. There is no way we're going to see Mozambique come around and overturn this whole thing. Meaning for Mozambique to eliminate Team Uganda, they will have to beat Team Uganda. There is 7 goals to 0 to overturn the whole mathematics.
Without our ladies answering any into the back of the net.
7 goals to 0. So I really don't see this happening. I don't see this happening unless otherwise maybe really I don't see that result being overturned. So I think it's a very good one for Team Uganda. It's a plus. They had by the way, they had their press conference today at 11 a.m. the same venue where they're going to play the game. That was at Technical Center Njeru, where the head coach and the captain of the team had to address the media, and they were very promising. I remember both of them said they're promising, and they were looking into winning this game by also a large number of scores. I don't know. Last time they went away and beat these guys. This time they've brought them home. I don't know how many goals they're going to beat them at top. We're basically waiting for 4 p.m.
Unfortunately, our teams, they love disappointing their fans, the Ugandans, when it comes to the closing edges like this. We saw them disappointing the Ugandans, the fans, when they faced, it was under 20 Chan tournament, when they did let it go into the hands of a certain Tanzania, and also more especially the teenage teams we have in the country, the Hippos always going close, but when it comes to winning it, it has always been difficult. But basically, in most cases, we have been talking about the disappointment part of it coming from the senior team. Susie, we still have got 2 big important topics to talk about. The release of 2023 AFCON group stages draws. We will be talking about that one. Apart from that, Uganda is also having a huge game tonight. The game is kickstarting at 10 p.m. East African time up against the Mali African Giants. I love calling them like that. So just stay next to your screen. We are coming back